Lux Aeterna stars Beatrice, Dalle, and Charlotte Gainsbourg as themselves, as they are gradually pushed into the chaos of witchcraft after they decide to make a film about witches, plunging the two into a world of technical problems and psychotic outbreaks. This is written and directed by Gaspar Noe, and it's one of two films of his released in 2022 alongside Vortex. Now, admittedly, I am not the biggest fan of this director's work, at least based on the two films of his that I've already seen, that being Enter the Void and Irreversible. But with this only clocking in at a mere 55 minutes, and with it having been a long time since I saw either of those other two movies, I figured I'd give this a shot and see if I'd feel a little differently about this director so many years later. And while I wouldn't necessarily call this the most emotionally satisfying experience out there, I will say it at least makes for, at the very least, a better experience than what I've previously had watching his movies. I always appreciate meta films, especially those that take a look into the film industry as a whole, which this film does. And I was certainly engrossed enough in the way this captured some of the simmering tensions on this film set, done in almost this low-key documentarian style. It's very subtle, and sometimes that doesn't allow it to work on the most emotional level at times, as it really doesn't feel like it reaches any heightened levels on that part. However, I did think it was very well acted, with both Dalle and Gainsbourg doing a solid job with this dialogue-heavy script. In terms of its visual style, it can feel very avant-garde, with a reliance on split screens showing multiple aspects of this film shoot literally going on at the same time. Now, I don't always know if this technique was warranted every time it was used, as there were instances where it didn't really build the tension any further, but at the very least, it kept things feeling busy, and when it worked, it was a cool stylistic choice. But at the end of the day, as I mentioned, it didn't feel like it reached any really intriguing, heightened levels of emotion. The 55-minute runtime at least allowed the film to not overstay its welcome, but at the same time, it only felt like it gave us just a narrow look into what these characters are going through, rather than there being any major arc for us to follow. On top of the fact that the film introduces a supernatural element in the last few minutes where things get out of hand on the set, and on one hand, it's visually striking, but on the other, it just doesn't feel like it organically built off of the much more grounded elements we were following for the majority of the film. This plot point comes in so late in the game, and it only gets explored in such a minuscule amount of time that it just feels tacked on and a little disconnected from the rest of the movie. And while there were some intriguing elements in there, I think the film would have benefited from a slightly longer runtime. So while Lux Aeterna isn't exactly a frustrating experience, it still felt like a mixed bag full of half-formed ideas that don't totally come together. While stylistically it looks nice and it's well acted, its lack of any major arcs only allows its emotional impact to go so far, on top of it having an ending that, as cool as it looked, just wasn't explored enough to feel like it gelled with the rest of the movie. For me, it was a mixed bag, but if you like Gaspar Noe's other work, you might enjoy this. Lux Aeterna gets a 5.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Lux Aeterna, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you think the story needed more time, and do you have a favorite Gaspar Noe film? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone, and keep having fun with film.